So, I'm not going out today because I've got a cold. You can probably hear it. And I thought this was a really nice opportunity to do a slightly different kind of video and show you something that I got quite recently, which I'm really excited by. It's new, and I thought that given that I'm one of the early people to have a set, it would be a nice thing to share with you. So, this is a mushroom identification set of cards. This is deck 1, the edibles, and it was developed by a group of people, including a lovely friend of mine online, Michelle Bakemont, who is an international coprinoid expert particularly, but also just a brilliant all-round, across-the-board mycologist. And so he's been helping with the mycology side of these when they've been developed. And you can see, starting off, we start with the backs of the cards. And rather than trying to get you to look at the mushroom and look at a picture and tick things off that way, these are much more like a game I used to play. Some of my old students, if they're watching, might remember me playing games on courses where I used to cover up all the pictures or get them to cover up the pictures in field guides and get them to ID just using the descriptions, which was a little bit clunky, and this is a much, much more user-friendly and effective way of doing what is essentially the same thing. So when you're looking at the backs of the cards, I'll just choose one at random to show you. You can see that it has pictures that show you different features and areas of the mushroom. So the shape of the cap is down here, and it gives examples. The colour spectrums are this side and gives examples. The gill attachment has example pictures here. Stipe shapes and bases. Seasons, habitats. So when I'm teaching fungi identification, when I run courses, I spend a relatively big amount of time over different little monologues throughout the course, talking about how important detail is when we're identifying fungi, how important it is not to be focused on the overall look of something initially. As you get better and better, you do start to get a knack for looking at, we call it the GIS, the general impression, size and shape of something. But initially, that isn't very useful to you because it's really difficult to tell the difference between quite a lot of quite different species, even from different genuses, genera, whatever you want to say, by just getting an idea for the look, because they're so similar sometimes. And what we try to do is build up a picture based on like a checklist of different features of the fungus. And this is a fantastic way of helping people learn, or learning yourself, or getting it to stick in your brain that you're not looking at the whole fungus, you're looking at a checklist, you're looking at compiling a mass of information about this thing that you're looking at that isn't just how it looks. So on the checklist here, this isn't the best because it's for a puffball, which doesn't have a lot of the things. So on the checklist here, you've got defining features, which is an overview of what you're looking at or not. And then your little checklist, the margin, the taste, the smell, the stipe or stem, they write here. Lookalikes, it has an entire book, I'm loving this, called The Twins. So when you think you've got something by using the cards, you can go and check the things it says to look like that could be worrying. It's got a little warning here about overindulging. Some people are sensitive to certain things. Some fungi, like this one, will bioaccumulate things or absorb things that others won't. And then it has some more information down here about rings and bruising and things like that. It's like, and this is just brilliant, I think, for the childlike side of me that enjoys Fungi ID, the same part of me that likes the treasure hunt that it is finding them, and the mystery that it is trying to solve when we're identifying. It's like a grown-up game of Guess Who. So what you do is you've got your mushroom in your hand. I don't have one today because I haven't been out. But pretend I have. I've got a mushroom in my hand and I start taking out. So if it's got a ring and the mushroom in my hand doesn't have a ring, everything with a ring can get put out of my pile. And so on and so forth. So if everything that says it's black can go because it's not. Everything that bruises can go because it isn't. Until you're left with one or two, and then you can turn the card over and look at the picture on the other side and cross-reference it with books or good websites that you know are trustworthy. It comes with a little guide which teaches you how to use it in case it's not too obvious. Bit of vocabulary, like a glossary in our book. And generally, this is never going to replace good field guides to identify everything that you've found. It just isn't. I don't think anything is ever going to replace really good field guides in terms of what they cover and the variety included in them and the detail. However, as a teaching or learning aid, this is just excellent. It really focuses on the skills that you need and the details that you need to be aware of and looking at, and learning how to rule things in and out based on those details. And I really rather love it. And I wanted to do this because it arrived late in the season. As I say, it's a brand new thing. And so I only got to take it on one course, and it was such a brief thing to show people right at the end as it was getting dark. And it seemed like it deserved more than that because it's just great fun. Particularly great, I think, for people who are teaching as a teaching aid. But I do think if you're learning, especially if you and your family are learning or you've got kids that are interested, I think it's a really lovely way to begin to understand and put into practice some of the techniques for identifying fungi that I utilise or teach on the courses that I teach. I really like it. So far, having just looked at it a bit and got it out and had a look, I have almost no criticisms, but I was asked by Michelle if I had any feedback, and my only feedback is that I would pay extra as a mother of chaotic small children and somebody who teaches and wants to take these into the field, to have them in a box that I could do that in without worrying that they were going to get ruined, because I love them and I want to keep them. Other than that, as a resource, I think they're fantastic, and I would highly recommend that you have a look. I will drop the link to the website in the description below so that you can go and see whether you'd like to buy them or put them on your Christmas list. And yeah, just also from an artistic perspective, I don't know who did the drawings, but I'm sure we can find out. They're just rather lovely, just really sweet things. And if you're like me and just like a little bit of art and pictures of mushrooms around your house, it's never going to be, excuse me, coughs and colds, never going to be sad to have beautiful pictures of mushrooms hanging around in card form. I think that'll do for now because I'm going to cough too much at you otherwise. If you're enjoying the videos, I'll stick my Buy Me a Coffee link in below as well, just because I always do, and it's appreciated. If you want to support the channel as I'm growing, please do like and subscribe. It makes a big difference to me. And yeah, come and find me online. I'm on Ashdown Forage or Broth and Butter. I've got a little foodie group as well. That's more of a little community. And you can come and find me and what I'm up to and see more of my escapades there.